Well, good evening, Australia, and good morning or good afternoon if you're joining us from somewhere else in the world. We are super excited tonight to be hosting one of our very local athletes, and it's actually a lady that's even within our Australia team, and her name is Honni Rooney. And guys, I'm super pumped to be listening to her story. I've just read a little bit of her biography, and I didn't realize all this stuff about you, Honni. So let me introduce you quickly. Welcome and thank you, first of all, everyone, for joining us. We're sure tonight that you're going to learn more about our product and just how incredible it is, especially for athletes. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about our speaker. Honni is a functional movement specialist, and she works predominantly with elite athletes in Australia, helping them to move better so that they can perform optimally in the sport that they've selected. She developed a keen interest in injury prevention after a devastating back injury cut her very own springboard diving career short. And prior to breaking her back, Honni was ranked second in Australia, having won a silver and a gold medal at nationals, and was preparing for the Olympics. And guys, 6 months in a back brace and ongoing rehabilitation forced her to rethink her diving career. And now, because of her experience, she is so passionate about educating people and helping them to know how to best support their own body for optimal health and performance. Honni, I never knew that you had broken your back. You know, my daughter broke her back about 3 years ago, so I know what you went through. And that must have been quite a big challenge for you being, a professional athlete. So I am going to ask you your first question. And first of all, if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about your journey, giving us a bit of a background of who is Honni and why did you choose Nrf2, which is what our product is. It's an Nrf activator or a synergizer, Nrf2 synergizer. And maybe if you can explain what the function of that is in your body and why it's so important for athletes to use this product. But first, tell us a little bit more about who is Honni.
Well, thank you for a lovely intro, Charlotte. That was, very well done. And I didn't realise your daughter had broken her back. I'll have to hear about that. We'll have to chat about that at some stage. As you sort of mentioned, I was a diver, but I started my life loving all kinds of sports. So when I was young, I was into everything, but springboard diving was, when that came along, that just lit me up. That was just, so I dived, pardon the pun, but I dived straight into that. I was diving 4 or 5 times a week to start with and got into it really quickly as far as competition. And as competition got a little bit more serious, I was diving up to 6 hours a day. So as you mentioned, state and national championships, which made all the training worthwhile. It was very nerve-wracking, but also very exciting, and I loved it. So as an athlete does, we had a plan. My coach and I had a plan to go forward. We had the Olympic trials was the next event to look to, and but something bad happened. As you mentioned, I broke my back, which was at the time devastating. My only focus was diving, so I had to reassess everything. But I now, on reflection, am grateful for that because it put me on the path that I'm on now, which is helping athletes prevent injury and perform optimally in their sport. So I'm passionate about helping young people in particular. So I work with young athletes that are about the same age I was when I injured myself, funnily enough, and I wish I had the knowledge I have now back then because I wouldn't have injured myself. So how I do that is I use a science-based screening process which identifies dysfunction in the athlete's movement patterns. Then work with the athlete to correct those dysfunctional patterns through specific drills that are specific to their problems. And this helps prevent injury, enhances their performance, and then they have usually longevity in their sport. keeping in mind some injuries like football, you know, if you have hard knocks in football, that's a little bit hard to avoid, but we like to prepare the body as best as possible. I also work with non-athletes as well, which I actually love. I love the contrast because they're equally as dedicated to their health. And I actually think that everyone's an athlete. Like, I think we all, if we're lucky enough to be able-bodied, we are all athletes. And I'm going to get my nerd on a little bit here, but the Oxford Dictionary defines an athlete as a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. And proficient is defined as competent or skilled in doing or using something. So therefore, everyone who moves is an athlete. I believe everyone deserves to be proficient or a master in movement, so they are free to enjoy their life. So that's, yeah, what I focus on. So why I chose Nrf2, essentially, after all the research I did, I'd be stupid not to. It was just, I value optimal health, which means I'm going to give my body the best tools available to prevent disease and allow the body to work as well as it was designed to. The body is an excellent, intelligent, complex system that, given the right tools, knows exactly what to do for optimal health. And Protanum is one of the best tools I've ever seen. It's important to me that it's all natural and it's accessible and affordable to everyone. So to explain a little bit about the function in the body, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. It can get a little bit sciencey, but I'll try and explain it simply. So when the body is young and healthy, it is able to take care of the balance between cellular damage and repair. One way the body repairs damage is by signalling the production of antioxidants or survival genes through something called the Nrf2 pathway. So most of us strive to have a diet rich in antioxidants, but perhaps we're not all sure why we're wanting these. So the vitamin C's we take, vitamin E, green leafy veggies, berries and juices. They typically have been used to neutralise free radicals. That's why we take antioxidants. And to prevent the free radicals cause damage. And what I found fascinating when I was looking into this was that one molecule of antioxidants from these sources neutralises only just one free radical. And knowing that there are literally millions of free radicals roaming around our body at any one given time, that's a whole lot of blueberries that we have to consume to, you know, combat them all. So Nrf2 activation provides a much better approach to fighting free radicals. As it uses the body's own defense, self-defense mechanism. So when Nrf2 is activated in the nucleus, and that's in every single cell of our body, it turns on the production of antioxidant enzymes such as catalase, glutathione, and I like to say SOD, but superoxide dismutase. These antioxidant enzymes are powerful enough to neutralise up to 1 million free radicals per second, every second. So this 1 to 1 million ratio proves to be a far more effective way to combat ageing and disease. Yeah, and then the Nrf2 pathway has been referred to as I'll just read this because it's a quote, the master regulator of antioxidant detoxification and cell defense gene expression. And it is for these reasons that so much research has been done into exploring how activating this life-sustaining pathway may have critically important applications for our health and longevity. I think that answers your first question.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Honni. So can you just briefly explain, you know, what's the risk of not dealing with those free radicals or neutralizing those free radicals? Because as you mentioned, we simply cannot eat enough antioxidants, right? I know one little tub of blueberries is 6,500 antioxidants. And at any one time, as you said, we have millions and trillions of free radicals in our body. So, you know, what happens to the body if we don't neutralize those free radicals?
So those free radicals become what we call oxidative stress or inflammation, and that has been linked to pretty much all the awful diseases and conditions that we know. So anything from cancer to diabetes to chronic fatigue, Alzheimer's, everything that you think of that you don't want, that the oxidative stress is linked to that, and that's caused by free radical damage. Yeah.
Even wrinkles, right?
Yeah, exactly. Aging. Almost right.
Yeah, so that's enough to make every single woman take this product, because we don't want those wrinkles, right? But of course,
right.
It's much more dangerous than just wrinkles. You know, as you said, it is linked to hundreds and hundreds of diseases. And so it's really important for us to keep those free radicals at a very low level in our bodies. So, Honni, my next question for you is, what was the one thing that you noticed when you started using Protandim, which is this Nrf2 activator? And, you know, in regards to your training and to your own performance, did you notice a difference?
Well, to be honest with you, I suppose because I'm quite healthy and fit to begin with, I didn't notice anything for a while. So it was at least 3 months. And on the 4th month, I decided I'd seen this fantastic testimony saying that this person took 2 a day. So 2 10 hours apart. I thought I'm just going to try that for a month because what I needed to see, my outward symptom was I had sesamoiditis, which is, so in November last year, I was diagnosed. Sesamoiditis is essentially inflammation of the ball of your foot. So I was told it was going to take 18 months to 2 years to repair completely and for me to be able to train the way I like to train, which is with running, lots of plyometrics. So anyone that knows plyometrics is sort of jumping and bounding from my diving days. I love doing that. It's fun. And so when I was told that, I'm like, this is not an option for me. I will not accept that as an answer. And then Protandim came into it. Well, I was introduced to Protandim in January. And so probably by May, June was when I decided to up it to 2. I did that for a month. Immediately within 2 days of upping it to 2, my pain, which was 24/7, reduced significantly, like I would say 50% conservatively. And then for that month, it disappeared. So I thought, I'm not going to start running yet. I'm going to go back to 1 a day, see if it still remains that way. It did. So end of July, I decided I'm going to start running and see how that goes. And it's been amazing. I have not had any pain. So that is Protandim because I've been doing everything else right, but Protandim is the only thing that's changed. But I must say also that I have been looking after my foot, no high heels. I do, give myself a foot bath whenever I can. So I do other things as well, but the Protandim for sure was the marked difference.
Awesome. Now, we do know, Honni, that the TGA in Australia is the governing body over, what products can be sold and what claims are allowed to be made. We do know that the TGA allows us to say that Protandim reduces pain in the body, and you're a perfect example, right? So what are some of the other things that we're allowed to claim with Protandim?
Definitely allowed to claim that it increases energy, it improves sleep. It's also a mood neutralizer, I suppose you'd call it, or helps with stress release or stress reduction. What else? You'll have to remind me.
Spot on. Of course, it protects the body against oxidative stress, which is really that key thing, right? So oxidative stress in the body comes about because you have more free radicals than antioxidants, which is just what you spoke about before. So we know this product, we protect your body against oxidative stress, and that's really the key, isn't it, Honni? Tell me, in your career, because I'm sure you've been approached many, many times by different people with different products. Have you ever seen anything like an Nrf2 activator or anything like Protandim?
No. And as I said before, I think, if you give the body what it needs to do what it's supposed to, it's, activation just makes so much more sense than supplementation. So I think that's definitely going to be the thing of the future. Yeah, it's an incredible product. I highly recommend everyone get on it because, you know, even if you don't notice anything outwardly, it is certainly helping, you know, every cell in your body become healthier. So
yeah, we know it works 100% of the time on 100% of people, doesn't it? So we have science, you know, about the studies, Honni, that we've got published to prove that.
Yes, yes. And I was going to say that the clinical trials have that prove Protandim has shown to lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days, which if you've seen the obesity report, you know all about. It's yeah, it's essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Honni, can you tell me something if I want to approach an athlete or, you know, a professional athlete or a coach or that, you know, about Protandim? You know, I'm so aware that they get approached all the time with different products. So what is it that I would say to them? What is it that would make them look at this product? What stood out to you?
Myself, look, it took a bit of time because I think athletes and health professionals think they know everything generally. I think they know how to look after their body and they think they know what to do. So I would say, you know, say that approach them like, I know that you know your stuff. I also know that you're open to exploring new ways to enhance your performance. And just, I've got a few athletes that I'm working on at the moment and I'm just feeding them every so often, just those studies, because we generally like the science backing things as well. So, yeah, and just, I would say, don't take it personally if they don't kind of take you on what you're saying on board yet, but just, you know, keep feeding them a little bit of information because they will eventually want that cutting edge and the increased performance, better recovery, less injuries that I really do believe that it promises. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Honni, have you got any of your athletes on Protandim and what have their results been?
I've got a couple, but only just recently. So, yeah, I haven't got any stories to share with you yet on my athletes, but there's been some fantastic studies on even concussion because I work with a lot of footballers and that is really exciting because that's a main concern at the moment, that how do you prevent brain damage, long-term brain damage of these, you know, teenagers when they're getting knocked in the head so yeah, frequently. So yes, I need to do a little bit more research on that, but it's fantastic.
Wow. Well, I've certainly seen a very common effect or side effect really is quicker recovery. I've heard that so many times, right? So people just say, I used to ache for days and now I'm just fine. Like, you know, I can go for a big run and the next day I'll feel normal. Whereas before I may have had to pull a sickie.
Yeah, Andrews is saying that. She was amazing.
Yeah. Honni, is there any last word or anybody got any questions? Please put up some questions in the chat if you have any for Honni. But any last word of advice that you would give people to, you know, encourage them to get onto Protandim?
I'm trying to think what would. Yeah, I just think with athletes to hone in on that again, that they may look healthy on the outside, but they usually get sick a lot more often. And actually that's something that I've noticed over the winter. These athletes haven't been getting sick, where the other athletes that haven't been on Protandim are just falling like flies. So that's a huge thing. Actually, I was talking about this morning that, yeah, there hasn't been that massive influx of athletes on Protandim getting sick, but the ones that have been getting sick this whole winter.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, there's so many things, like you'll sleep better, your energy will improve, aches and pains will definitely dissipate. Oh, there's so much to it. It manifests in different ways in everyone too. So worth having a go.
Honey, Lauren is asking, can you suggest any studies for her to look at with regards to the concussion?
Oh gosh, not offhand, but I'm happy to email or send that through. Yeah, I'll write that down.
You send it on to me, I can get it. Or even if you just post it on the official Advantage page,
Yeah.
I'm sure that people can see it on there. That'll be awesome. Any
Yeah,
other questions? Please pop your questions in, guys. I think she's a bit concerned. She says she's got a 13-year-old teenage boy who plays footy, and
yeah.
any mum, that's going to be a concern, right? So she obviously wants to have a look into that. So, as an athlete, I'm sure you just want to do whatever you can to make it easier and make other athletes better, right? And just give them whatever they need. Have you ever been involved in any drug testing? And how do you think Protandim would stand when it comes to drug testing? Or is there any clearance from the drug board? That, the guys that do the testing, I forget what they're called, but what do you know about?
Well, given that it's 5 natural ingredients, look, I wouldn't take my word for it, but I would say there's nothing in there that is a drug, so it should be absolutely clear. But yeah, maybe just check yourself. But as far as I know about the ingredients, there is absolutely nothing in there that is a problem. And I know America, the sport drug, what's it called? Federation, what do we call it?
The banned substance. I know it's a bottle,
yeah. I think, but it's fine on the American one. So yeah, I just think there's nothing in there.
Awesome.
It's an enhancement as far as drugs are concerned.
Yeah, I just see a comment from Tony. He's 61 years old and he's been on Protandim for quite a few months, and he says he's just had his blood results done today, and his doctor says it's the best results he's ever had, and that he's seen in a very long time, and he was just so surprised. So there's another shout out to Protandim because it does work. Guys, 100% natural product, unique, less than $2 a day to be on Protandim. It not only has it been proven to reduce or protect your body against oxidative stress, but it's even been proven to extend life. The National Institute of Aging, honey, they did a study, right? And it was a 9-year study on this product, Protandim, and they actually managed to prove that it does extend life by 7%. So all in all, it's just an amazing product. Honey, I want to say to you a massive, massive thank you for coming on here tonight. I love listening to you. I could listen to you for the next 10 hours because I know you have so much knowledge and so much experience. I'd love to hear your story about how you broke your back. We need a coffee when I'm next to Melbourne for sure. But you know what? What an honor to see you back to normal and, helping others because of what you went through. That's just the sign of a true champion. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And just, can't wait to see the next chapter of your life. As a professional coach, and obviously helping heaps of other athletes. So thank you so much to our guests as well for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them through and we can get them to Honni for you. But thank you for joining us. We will put a recording up later on, guys, for anyone that's missed this. And have a great evening, day, midday, morning, whatever, wherever you are. But thank you so much, Honni. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Charlotte, for all that you do too. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you.